Gemini, you are in the hot seat for June. Join me for your transformational tarot and astrology reading. So, we are doing some transformational tarot for June, Geminis. And this month, I am going to be pulling cards for you today from the Chrysalis Tarot from that's Tony Brooks. And we're also doing a Sacred Creators overarching theme card for you guys today. So let's scoot on over here and bear with me. I'm still getting used to my technology today. And we're going to do some card pulls. By the way, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to my Black Feather Couture Aligned Astro Chat. So what have we got for you guys overall? You got two cards here that are flying out of the deck from the Sacred Creators. We have Prosperity Sisters are happiness and joy, and fierce serenity. Wow. Okay. So first thing I want to say here is fierce serenity is inviting you, and it's got a Leo, sort of the Leo, the lion energy, and it's an 8. So think strength. The fierce serenity is a choice. I feel like this is the invitation. Actually, it's the warning. It's the heed the warning that you must choose serenity. And I'm going to age myself here a little bit. I'm forever 30. But years ago when Seinfeld was out, George Costanza's father, Mr. Costanza, used to say, serenity now, serenity now. And I used to laugh all the time because I'm like, yeah, sometimes we say the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That takes a long time to spit that shit out. Sometimes you just need serenity now. And I feel like that's what this card is indicating for you, is that you want to not beat around the bush. You need to really make that choice. And that fierce serenity is choosing you. When he says serenity now, he's really trying to harness his chi. He's trying to bring his shit in, right? So I feel like this is kind of a mantra for you, a message for you this month, that when everything starts to fly, when everything starts to get crazy and chaotic, and sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is going to be that way. Doesn't necessarily mean that chaos is bad. Just means, be aware of what's coming up and coming through. You want to have the quick notes version. You want to be able to go to that shortcut and say, yeah, no, I'm choosing fierce serenity. I'm choosing it right now. And even if I have to say serenity now 5 or 6 different times, I'm going to say that 5 or 6 different times until I start to feel it. And that is how I'm going to lead. Prosperity Sisters are happiness and joy. I feel like this is coming up interesting. You have an 8 and a 9. 36 breaks down into a 9. I feel also like this is about choices. You have the choice of fierce serenity. You also have the choice of happiness and joy. If you're looking for prosperity, happiness and joy equals prosperity. Like, that's kind of the energy of what I'm feeling here. I also feel like, it's pedantic to say happiness is a choice. We've heard that 1,000,000,001 times, but it doesn't make it any less true. And I'm really feeling like that's kind of the energy of what we're in this month, Geminis. And by the way, I'm a Gemini moon, so sun, moon, and rising. You could take advantage of this. And I feel you with this. There's so much that we're seeing out in the world. There's so much that we're seeing in our own lives, obstacles, limitations, desires to, move forward, to get ahead. And it can feel frustrating. It can feel like happiness is a distant memory, or happiness is the mirage that we're never going to get to. I feel like this month, the June energy, the astrological energy that's coming up and coming through, is to say, hey, happiness is a choice. And sometimes you have to choose fierce serenity in order to have your happiness, in order to protect that happiness. but ultimately it's working towards the goal of prosperity. And I feel for some of you from a work perspective, there is going to be, I'm going to say, it feels like there is going to be an opportunity. Sorry, I'm just going to cover that up so we can fit them both on the screen. There is going to be an opportunity for you to receive a bonus, get a raise, receive an opportunity for you to get a promotion. I feel like however you choose to contribute to the world, there's going to be an opportunity that presents itself this month, and it might be a bit unexpected. And it might feel a bit overwhelming. You might even feel at the time that you're not ready for it, but I guarantee you, you're ready for it. You just have to choose it. You have to say yes to it and choose that fierce serenity and trust that the serenity is going to get you through that path or give you the answers. Wow, there's a lot that I feel you are going to be moving through this month. I feel like there's going to be a lot of there's fast action for all of us. The astrology indicates that there is a lot of, quick moving, things moving quickly, having to kind of hold on to your hat for that. But I feel like for you, there's also quick succession of things. So you're going to be in something, wrapping that shit up and on to the next, like in the same time that somebody is just sort of processing what's coming up for them. I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement in your world, a lot of next. It feels like a very highly productive time, but it also can feel like a chaotic time if you're not protecting yourself through the process of that. So really be aware of that acceleration that's happening. Be prepared for that acceleration that's happening. Have a plan and make sure that you're stopping every once in a while and smelling the roses, taking a rest, taking a breather, having a chat with a friend to sort of recenter you. It's not about grounding for you guys as much as it's a recentering. So where are you at right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Wow. We have 7 of spirals. So in this card, the spirals are the wands. And I'm feeling very much here when we're talking about the 7. It's interesting. 9, 8, 7. It's not that you're devolving. I feel like it's more a reflection for you right now of you've done the work, you're ready to advance, but you've been kind of in this holding pattern. Like something needs to shift, something needs to happen in order for you to be able to move ahead. I like to talk about 7s sort of in the numerological energy path. 7s is the prototype. It's okay, we've created the prototype, we've created the adventure, the invention, the masterpiece. We got to test it before we put it into mass production, because once it goes into mass production, any errors, parts falling off, the wrong color, you name it, whatever it is, it's going to be a lot more time consuming, costly, expensive, on every level to fix 45,000 of them than it is to really do a triple check on this one thing first. So dotting the I's, crossing the T's. This is I want to say, an invitation to be a little more detail oriented. Also, the 7 of Wands typically indicates defense. I say here, it's less about defending yourself, choosing your battles, and more about what is it that I'm trying to communicate out into the world? What is it that I'm wanting others to experience with me, or to understand about me, or to understand about what I've learned? How do I want to help my fellow humans, whether it's through what's happening in the collective or through their own journeys and their own experiences? I feel like that's where the detail orientation is for you right now. You're trying to figure out a way to clarify your message, or to really matter, to make a difference, to step up and step in and share your message with the world. it's not from a place of defense. And I feel like this is a really important message that I'm conveying to you right now, because I feel like that when we talk about sort of where you're at right now, what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving, I feel like you have to dissolve this idea that you need to prove yourself to anybody in order for you to be who you are. Dissolve that shit right now and rise instead into the I'm going to be who I am, and who I am is awesome. I rock, and I'm going to share my message, and it doesn't matter who is listening or how many people follow it or whatever. I'm going to share my message, not from a place of defense, but more from a place of openness, because that defense is what's shutting everything down. That defense energy, that defensive energy is what people are reading right now. So that's dissolving. And I feel like, Geminis, the last couple months, you've been struggling with that. You're like, am I speaking a different language? I don't understand what's transpiring here. Like, I thought I was clear. I thought I was saying what needed to be said. I didn't think that, there was a problem. And yet I've, pissed off a bunch of people, or I hurt somebody's feelings, and I didn't even know that that was an issue or that was a thing. So I feel like this has caused you to kind of go within a little bit and be a little more protective. Let that shit go now. I feel like for you, we can't predict, or that's not true. We can predict, but we are not in charge of or responsible for how a person chooses to receive or not receive what it is that we're offering. The only thing we have control over is the delivery of our message. And I feel like that's what you're kind of letting go, is this sense that you are responsible for, not only the message that you've delivered, but the way the person has received it. And you're not. So you're letting that go. And I feel like that's going to kind of make way for you to expand a little bit more forward in that regard, with a little more confidence. And I want to say more flow. All right, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or rocket fuel? Interesting. We've got 4 of spirals. So again, we're having a lot of this. I just want to double check and make sure that I've got this right as I'm talking about the spirals. Because this card changes up all of the, yes, I am correct. I just wanted to double check that. Because here I am going on and on and on, talking about spirals as wands, and maybe they're not, but they are. So I was right. Okay, so 4 of spirals, 4 of wands. This is a card of the establishment of a new foundation. This is my card of contracts. And I feel like what's transpiring for you in June, Geminis, is an awareness, a really profound awareness of the soul contracts that you're currently in, and the soul contracts that you are choosing now to say either, okay, yes, I understand it's a soul contract. I'm moving forward with that awareness to just kind of learn the lesson and get on with it. Or I'm saying, I'm done with this contract and I'm ready to let it go so that I can put my focus and attention to other things. So I feel like this in many ways is like you're recognizing the contracts you have with others, you're evaluating that, and you're saying, are these contracts helping or hindering me? Some of these soul contracts that we're in, we have no choice. There's no way out but through. But when you bring awareness to it, and you then can, put your focus to, oh, okay, this is a lesson I'm learning. Let's just get the shit done. Let me learn the lesson so I can move on and call it a day. That's what I feel is sort of coming up here for you with this 4 of spirals. And when we're talking about, is it resistance or rocket fuel? Is it fueling you? Or is it holding you back? I feel like this in the month of June here is fueling you, because think about the liberation, not just the freedom, but the liberation that comes with the aha moment. The, oh my God, I get it now, why you and I have been doing this crazy cyclic dance, for months. And we always keep coming back to the same place, and we never seem to be able to break through. Now that I see it, I can understand it, because now I'm going to shift my behavior, or I'm going to shift my choice. I'm going to make a different choice. I'm going to go in a different direction in order to break up the Groundhog Day. And in that process, oh my God, there's so much liberation. I feel that you're going to be breaking out, and this fuel is helping you. You're breaking out of these, I want to say, these negative patterns, or breaking out of these I don't use this word lightly, but karmic cycles. And again, the Seven of Spirals is implying to you that Seven of Wands, you've been feeling like you're on the defensive, but you're releasing that now. You're releasing that idea of, I don't need to be defensive, I need to be open-hearted. And how people choose to receive that is on them. I'm only responsible for speaking my truth and leaning forward into that space. Wow, that's really freaking cool. I feel like also, like, obviously this is, when we talk about soul contracts, I feel like this is also in reference to the connections that we're making. We have exponential growth when we interact with other people, because people are mirrors for us, right? We're always mirroring and reflecting to others, whether it's conscious or unconscious or subconscious, whether it's by choice or otherwise. There is a reflection, and this is just bringing awareness to the reflection, and then with that awareness you can make different choices for yourself. So I feel like that's a kind of a big deal in your personal relationships. Definitely feels like it's relational. Sure, it can have to do with, I want to say, a work situation, but I would say these are work situations with like your work friends, more so than the pain in the ass boss or the difficult coworker that you wouldn't hang out with outside of work if they paid you. So this is more those I want to say chosen interactions, consciously chosen interactions. All right, we're talking about deep roots now. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this particular transformation for you in June under the surface? So this is the hidden realm, and we have Ace of Stones, and stones in this tarot deck is Pentacles. It's about planting a seed. Aces are fantastic because aces are about that pure potential, right? But they're a nothing burger unless you actually apply the wisdom, unless you actually take the steps to move ahead on that. So when we're looking at this Ace of Stones, Ace of Pentacles, I'm really feeling here that it's bringing up the opportunity for you to witness a place where you didn't even know you were wounded. And sometimes we have these wounds that are under the surface. You think about the internal part of the body. Why do we have MRIs and CAT scans and things of that nature? So that we can see through things and into our bodies in ways that, like, we would never see that part of our body if we did not have that ability to kind of do that X-ray vision, right? And I feel like that's exactly what's happening here. Is you are going to be given an insight into what I like to say is the heart of the matter for you. And it's the heart of the wounding for you. And when you see it, suddenly you go, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. If that is what is subconsciously motivating me, if that is what has been affecting and influencing my choices, and now I understand why all of my co-creations and manifestations have shown up kind of in a bastardized version of itself. I've gotten 3/4 of what I wanted, but 1/4 was really poopy, and I can't seem to move beyond it or get past it. Ace of Stones is coming up and coming through here in June to say, well, we're going to show you exactly what it is. And I'm going to warn you, Geminis, for some of you, this is going to be a painful realization. It's going to be a kick in the gut or a slap in the face. Not for everyone. I would say I'm getting 50-50. So I'm getting, for half of you, there might be some pain involved. It might be a bit shocking, and what I keep seeing in my mind's eye around this is this idea that you're having a wonderful conversation with someone that you absolutely love, and then all of a sudden, like, the ball drops and they're like, hey, there's something I need to talk to you about. And 3 weeks ago when we had conversation X, you said blah 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 blah, and that created a chain of events, and I'm just joining you today to say I need to take a step back because I can't seem to work through it and whatever. And you're like blown away. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were feeling all of this. I'm so sorry. Let's work it through. And then the person says, I can't, I need some time. That might really bother you. That might stress you out, and and not being given the opportunity to talk through something can be very anxiety inducing. So not trying to this whole situation for you, but just being, keeping it real, Gemini, that there's going to be, you're going to need to tap into your heightened intelligence here, the emotional intelligence, as well as the sort of the mental intelligence, to be able to rein it in, to recognize, okay, I'm a part of this. I have been subconsciously responding or reacting to certain things. And so let me evaluate how that has affected this situation or this interaction with, with my friend, or, whoever it is, with my family member. Ultimately, I feel that there will be resolve to what is sort of transpiring here. Definitely feeling that resolve that will be coming through. But I do want to say to you that, when we get that kind of information, when we discover that we've hurt somebody's feelings, that never feels good. That you always want to be able to fix it, and fix it in the now. And I feel like you might not be able to fix it in the now because that person might not be ready to receive what it is that you have to offer. So just kind of be prepared for that. But let's see how we're able to, kind of move through that. So what part of you is falling away as a result of this? What's dying away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Oh, interesting. So we have the Page of Cups, Page of Mirrors, the healer. I feel like, Gemini, what you guys are going through is like I'm being shown like this old mirror. If you've ever had, bought a vintage mirror, or maybe a mirror from your grandmother or great grandmother, there's all these like little black sort of spots that show up. And to be honest, like, I don't know how that happens, if the backing of it, sort of wears off over time, or, what the situation is. But these glass mirrors and these reflective mirrors get these, little chips and things. And it's not that the glass itself has broken or chipped. It's something on the inside that reflects age, movement, back and forth. And sometimes the reflection can get a little bit warped. I feel like what you are releasing here is the old reflection. But in order to release the old reflection for you guys this month, it's having to face the fact that it is an old reflection. And what's interesting about this card is, she's a beekeeper here. She's not afraid of the bees. She's not covering herself up. But I would also say to you that maybe she's being a little bit careless about this. She's not taking extra precautions. She's getting into, the bees' hive, or the space of the bees. She's collecting things. Maybe she's giving to the bees, but she's also taking. And I feel like what is kind of falling away for you here, what is dying away, is this, sort of bull in a china shop kind of energy, or just I've been looking into a reflection, and maybe I haven't been seeing the reflection at all for a long time because I've gotten used to it. It's gotten by rote, old and stale. I know what that is. There's, specks and sparks, and it's a little bit warped. So I just don't even bother, or I'm not aware. I don't take the time to actually see. I might look really quickly in the mirror, but I don't actually take the time to see what it is that I'm looking at. So I want to say you're releasing a bit of unfocused witnessing, and you're opening up into the fact that, okay, it's time for a new mirror. It's time for a new image, one that isn't warped, one that is clear, so that I can see everything, warts and all, and love it all in that capacity. Interesting. What can rise? What is your possibility? What is your potential? What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you towards? This is breakthrough energy. So, here we are adjusting the reflection. Now, what are we making room for, right? What what can come out of this? What is the new reflection that you're stepping into? Oh, I love it. Ace of Scrolls. So scrolls in this deck is swords, air, scrolls, writing, communication. It's an air sign, Gemini. So this is your happy place. This is your suit. And I feel like here, because it's your second ace, there's a lot of fresh start, new beginning that is occurring for you. There's a lot of opportunity here, and we see the keys in this card. The keys, I feel, for you are the choice. We come back to the happiness and the joy. The keys are happiness and joy. So you're working through some of this, I'm shifting up the reflection. I'm getting to know, sort of the newness of what is coming up and coming through here. But through the process of it, I can get caught up in it. I can get stuck in the old energy of it all. Or I can choose to approach the entire new reflection experience, old reflection to new experience, with happiness and joy. Those are the keys to my success. I'm also really drawn in this particular card to the pink and the orange sky in the background. And this feels like dawn, the dawning of a new day. We're seeing the moon sort of in the sky. Pink is, I want to say, one half of the heart chakra. Sorry, I'm touching my heart and you can't see me doing that. I'm still getting used to all of this technology stuff. Oh, and Mr. Neo is coming through to say hello. I don't know if you can see him at all or not. Hi, Fuzz. Okay, excuse me. I feel like the pink is one half of the heart chakra. It is the unconditional love, self-love, self-care, self-compassion, self-forgiveness piece. And when we're talking about that Ace of Swords, that new thought, it's new thought around how you're choosing to see your reflection, how you're choosing to not create your reflection, but to be honest with the reflection that you are witnessing, you are choosing, you are accepting. And I do feel that there's a level of acceptance that's required here, and that is that pink. The orange is the sacral chakra, our sexuality, sensuality, creative expression, and flow, and the overarching ocean. The ocean of our emotion. It's not overarching anything. The ocean of our emotion. So we're having a lot of feeling energy here, and we're thinking. We're bringing new thought to the feelings. We're thinking about it. We're stepping into that. How do I bring more of me into this experience? How do I open myself to what this experience is teaching and showing me so that I can integrate it? And yeah, there's some shadow. The crow here, the raven, the crow, the black bird, is as above and so below. Can traverse the shadow realms as well as the heavens and everything in between. Think of it as a conduit. And I feel like the Ace of Scrolls is helping you to give a fresh perspective, a fresh reflection to the shadow that created some of this stuff so that you can integrate the shadow. And you're doing it through happiness and joy, because now you've actually got the answer. This is the answer. If you don't know what's broken, how can you fix it? Well, now you see where the situation is. And you can say now, oh, okay, I understand. And now I can fix it. Now I can put something else to this energy and this experience. What's emerging for you? What's just around the corner with all of this transformation? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Oh, beautiful. The Two of Mirrors. So cups, again, Two of Cups. For me, guys, when I see swans represents starseed energy, the star seeds. So I feel like I'm speaking directly to those who identify as star seeds right now, Geminis. There's an added component here. So if you don't identify as a star seed, what I feel this is definitely, it's about resolve, soulmates coming together, being able to see each other. Of course, we're seeing the mirrors here. We're able to see each other. We're able to work through the differences. Starseeds, if you identify as a starseed, what this says, the added layer of this, is that you are actually starting to see and identify other star seeds in your path, in your world. And I want to say there's a gravitation to that. I feel very much like you are, with this sort of starseed energy, you are starting to choose a community that is more like-minded, like-hearted. You're starting to say, it's no longer enough for me to settle. I want my connections to matter. I want them to make a difference. And if you aren't a star seed, don't worry, that message still applies to a certain degree. What I feel it's expressing to you guys is really taking the time to pay attention to what that other person, what are the other connections are showing you about themselves, and taking the time to evaluate whether or not that's going to work for you. Because again, you're going through this shadow sort of esque journey, but you're doing it from a considered, thoughtful perspective and approach. And you don't want to undo that in any way, shape, or form. Two of Mirrors is an invitation to see clearly, to give yourself pause, to be able to discern the person that I'm looking at. What is it I'm seeing? What is it they're saying to me? And what is it that they're not saying? What is it that I'm picking up that they're maybe not sharing? Because I need the whole picture in order to determine how I'm going to move forward. So community building, relationship connections. It's really important. How are you navigating your transformation in June? And by the way, we all transform. We're always in a state of transformation, which is why I always do these focuses on transformative energy, because every day we're different. Every minute we're different. And so I feel that this is going to talk to us about how you're navigating the transformation. Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? We have 10 of spirals again. Wow. So many wands, fiery energy, passion. You're an air sign, Gemini. So the wands, you fuel the fire. And I feel like that's exactly what is transpiring here. 10 of Wands, it's the rewards and the burdens that go with it. I'm getting nothing but positive energy here. I'm not getting that this is burdensome. I'm actually feeling like this is relieving your burden. June is going to bring about, and I said it earlier, you're going to be constantly shifting through, like what everybody else is going to, when they deal with 2 or 3 different issues by the end of June, you'll have dealt with 10 or 12. So you're on a very much an accelerated path. And I feel that this 10 of spirals is coming up and coming through for that very reason, to say, yeah, you are going to be learning all of this, feeling into all of this reflective energy, and you're releasing the burden. You're releasing those things that are holding you back. And it's only the reward. Also, there's going to be real clarity for you around what that reward really needs to be for you, what it wants to be and what it needs to be for you. So I feel like it's leaning into the fire, leaning into the flame, not in a way that it's going to burn you, but I would say this is the invitation for you to say, all right, if this is where we're at, let's go all in. Go big or go home. Let's get her done. Because I'm ready for that reward. I'm so ready for that reward. This is about your support system now. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now, positively or negatively? Who are you leaning into? Storyteller, the hermit. You're leaning into yourself. I like to say that the hermit's journey is that deeply spiritual self-awareness journey that only you can take. Others can support you while you're doing the journey, but it's so intimate that it's within you. There's so much that you can share, but nobody can really understand that experience unless they're in your body experiencing it with you. So it's very much that solo journey. It's not isolation. It's not that, especially when we're talking about the support system, it's not that you're isolated. It's more that you're recognizing the information that I need to process right now, the reflections that I am receiving. Nobody can do the work for me. Nobody can interpret it for me. This is about me interpreting it for myself. This is about me stepping in and saying, all right, this is what's next. This is what really needs to happen in this at this particular juncture. So what I love about this depiction, of course, we have the bird again. We have the black bird. We have the wings. It feels like feather wings, but there's also that indigenous people's quality. We've got roots of the tree coming out. We've got new growth in the form of these trees or buds or plants. The bottom of the bird here, there's almost a phoenix-esque quality, even though the colors aren't, particularly phoenixy. And I feel like here, this is giving yourself permission to be all the things that you need, what you think you need from others, be all those things to yourself. Pay attention to what stories you're telling yourself. Rewrite those stories that you're telling yourself. And in fact, what I'm hearing is just cut loose the stories, period, and done. End of sentence. Start a new story. And start that story that indicates how burden-free you are, how limitless you are, because you've done the work, you've burned away what needed to be burned away. That's really interesting. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? The Watcher, Queen of Mirrors. Yeah, so Queen of Cups. I feel like for you guys, there is this, Geminis, we experience a lot of things in our head. Like we're always in our head or in our mind. We're analyzing, we're thinking, we're plotting, we're exploring all the different angles. Fuzz, thank you so much. You're always trying to figure things out in your brain. And what I feel is coming up, and maybe where the fear is coming up, but this is also where I want to say that the breakthrough can be had, is in accepting that sometimes we can't feel in our heads, right? Like you can work out a head problem or a heart problem all day long. If you're in your heart, you're going to get a response. But if you're trying to figure out a heart problem with your head, you're using the wrong tool for the job. And I feel like that's kind of the invitation here. You're afraid in some ways to rise into that feeling space and that feeling energy because you aren't feeling as confident resolving the problem or feeling into it. And what I keep hearing for you guys is you're afraid that it's kind of that saying, I'm afraid to start crying because I'm afraid that I might not be able to stop. And of course, this is irrational. You are, of course, going to stop. You, of course, are. I mean, that's the nature of life itself, is we're ever evolving, right? So something is going to change. If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes and something's going to shift. So I feel like that's where the fear is coming from, is you're kind of afraid to be fully ensconced in your feels because you feel like maybe you don't have enough structure to be able to handle it. But I want to say to you, given all of the reflection that you're doing and receiving, you're also being given from source energy that tells you, we got you. You've elevated and graduated into this space. So it's okay to step into the feels. It's okay to be in that energy because you do have the tools. You will stop crying if you start crying, and there will be relief on the other side. Wow, I'm loving this reading for you guys. Okay. The outcome of the transformation, if you stay on course, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full birth and death and rebirth cycle? Oh, beautiful. Poet, King of Scrolls. This is your happy place, Gemini. This is the okay, I've addressed the heart-related stuff. I've embraced the feeling space. I've stepped into that and I've been able to process it and analyze it. I'm on the other side of it. And now I go into integration of that into that King of Swords energy, the leadership energy, the mastery of our thoughts, the mastery of the intellect, the mastery of the plan. This is the, not the scribe. This is the, It's almost like the Buddha gets to this place where, he's felt all the things and the stuff, and now he can come back and bring everything that he has experienced into the thinking space, so that he has more clarity, awareness, wisdom around it. And that's the enlightenment piece. And I feel like that's what's bringing you. I need to say no more on that. I feel like prosperity sisters are happiness and joy because you're choosing fierce serenity of what is. It's an acceptance of what is, and ultimately it's going to bring you to that level of awareness, of enlightenment. And in enlightenment, not always does it come with peace, but I'm hearing for you it will come with peace, and it will come with a very clear path forward. All right. So let me just get back to my main camera here. All right, guys. Geminis, that is your reading for June. Thank you so much for joining me in my Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, Aligned Astro Chat for June of 2025. Sending you guys so much love and support, and we will see you on the flip side. Transform well.